Morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So you can hear me, huh?
Yeah, I got you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Y'all,
All right.
how's everything in Camilla? I know y'all have had a tough time with the poultry plant over there. Everything going okay?
Well, they got it going. It's the boiler blew up, and last I heard, just one person had died, but two are at the burn center in Augusta. So that's been a mess, and we had some pretty rough weather come through last night, but it just amounted to rain. How about y'all?
We had about an inch of rain, inch and 2/10 yesterday. That was about it. Nothing worse than that. Um, our our prayers go out to the family members of those impacted by the incident there at Tyson Foods. So, um, if there's anything we can do, let us know. Good morning, Chaz. Chaz, do we have you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you.
A new year.
Happy New Year to you as well. We got Chairman Dickey trying to call in right now. We'll give folks a few more minutes. This should be a pretty brief wrap up of our study committee. So thank you for your time this morning.
Yes, sir. All we're doing is getting ready to plant some trees.
Yeah, we had about an inch of rain yesterday, so not able to do a whole lot this morning, but we got to get in some cover crop, finish chopping up some stuff for some other folks, and it's that time of the year, that's for sure.
Yes, burning and planting.
Yep, it never ends. So, hope y'all had a great Christmas.
We did. I spent most of my time in the deer stand. without any luck.
Without any luck?
Not any luck.
Well, you
Not
know,
over yet. I still got about 15, 20 more days.
yeah, you got a little bit longer before your luck completely runs out anyway. Good morning, Chairman Dickey.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing great. How about you? Hope you had a Merry Christmas.
I did. Very nice.
Good.
I'm on a different computer here this morning, so I'm trying to get things working.
It looks like you got it pretty successful there.
All right.
I think I muted myself there. We'll give everybody another minute or two to see if Representative Leverett's going to join us, and Representative Stinson. I'm not certain if she'll join us or not. But while we're waiting on them, did everybody get a copy of the final report from Anna and/or Lauren? Does everybody have that?
I have it right here in my hand.
All right. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
I know you're just so thrilled to see us on this Monday morning, huh? Right before the new year, right before we.
Well, I couldn't wait another 2 weeks. Really and truly, I was excited.
I can tell. I can tell by the excitement in your voice that is indeed the case. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll call the meeting to order. Thank y'all for joining us this morning. You should have in your emails or in your hands the final report from the from the previous meetings that we had, both in Tifton and in Atlanta. And what we've done is really didn't come forward with one single recommendation, but decided to provide some program alternatives to what we can do moving forward. One being creating the indemnity fund that we had talked about that does exist. We do believe in current code would be the first recommendation, followed up by bolstering the auditing process with the Department of Agriculture. Followed by a third recommendation of increasing the bonding requirements, which we had a great deal of conversation about, and then continue to educate Georgia farmers on and producers on the bonding requirements for the dealers and marketers that they are using to market commodities throughout the year. So those were the four recommendations that that was discussed and talked about during the process, and we felt like it was better that we provided in this manner rather than one specific recommendation, and maybe taking legislatively a multi-pronged approach to dealing with the bigger issue. I don't know if any of you had a chance to read through the Wisconsin legislation. I did, and have a lot of questions about it, but I do think it's probably a starting point for a blueprint. Should we move that direction during the upcoming legislative session? So those were the recommendations that came out of the meetings, and Anna put together the final report. Is there any questions regarding those?
Question, or not really a question, but maybe a suggestion, is that, I was not aware of this. There's a lot of warehouses here in Moultrie for row crops, like mostly cotton, but maybe make it a topic of rural caucus. At least have Jason come in and talk about it, or maybe even Tyler talk about it, and let the rural caucus members know it's an issue. And at least maybe the first week or two of session, and after, if we want to drop some legislation, at least they've heard about it before we drop it. Just an idea.
We will certainly do that, and I completely agree with you. We have more warehouses than what we're able to participate, particularly from a peanut and a cotton perspective. I think the cotton warehouses are more impacted by this, given the regulatory environment of the peanut and the peanut industry and the way that it's structured, along with USDA. So I want to make sure that our cotton warehouses are in the loop on this as we move forward. Again, we've had one instance where a cotton broker went bankrupt, and that was in the neighborhood of 1997, 98 with Sea Island Cotton Marketers over in Statesboro. Has been the only one at this point that has declared bankruptcy and left some producers holding the bag there. So, Chaz, I completely agree with you, and I made a note that we'll get with the Rural Caucus chairman, Robert
Corbett, I think.
Corbett. Yeah, he's still chairman at this point, and we'll get with him and go ahead and get that on the agenda early in the session and make sure we got everybody up to speed on that. Any other comments at this point? If not, do I hear a motion that we adopt the final committee report as written?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do we have a second? Chairman Dickey, you're muted.
There you go. I got audio now. Yeah. Second.
So we have a motion and a second to adopt the committee report as written. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman, Representative Campbell, you are muted. We cannot hear you. I'm going to take that to be an affirmative vote. Is that correct? Are you still muted? I don't know if I can. Joe, you still there? Anna, can you unmute him, or is it on his end?
I think that one of our media service team members could probably unmute him. I think that's.
I can, I've requested to unmute him. All I can do is ask to unmute. I can't actually unmute him myself, unfortunately.
Okay.
He may be tied up. He unmuted a while ago when we were talking. All right, I'll follow up with him to make sure that that's if that's appropriate, that we do it that way. But and talking to him, he was okay with everything. So we'll adopt the committee report as written and report it to I guess Anna, to the House and to the Speaker, and then I will follow up with Chairman Corbett on the Rural Caucus, Chaz. And then as we get into session, go ahead and start trying to move forward. I will also go ahead and have some conversations with Commissioner Harper in the governor's office on and Chairman Hatchett, particularly on increasing some funding for the auditing of that, because that's where obviously that'll have to come probably through the appropriations process. Any other thoughts or comments?
So, Stephen, I'm having a little hard time hearing on this new computer I had to move to.
Yes, sir.
So you're just got through telling us you're going to move forward on all three of these recommendations.
Well, what we've done is the four items that we had talked about. One being creating the indemnity fund, which we do believe already exists in code, but we need to do some further investigation on that with Ledge Counsel. So creating the indemnity fund and then bolstering the auditing process through the Department of Agriculture would be the second recommendation. The third one would be increasing bonding requirements, and then fourth, continuing to educate producers on the requirements of bonding so that they understand whenever the marketers that they are working with are indeed licensed and bonded. I will go ahead and start the conversation with the governor's office, the Department of Ag, as well as Chairman Hatchett on the auditing process, because obviously that'll be required to come through the appropriations process and adding some funding to the department for that. I did read through, Chairman Dickey, the Wisconsin legislation, but have lots of questions on that. So I'll continue to study that, and we can probably use that as a blueprint as we move forward with any potential legislation. But in terms of calculating what the bonding is, I've got a lot of questions on how that works. I was not able to discern that from reading it several times at least. But I think we can move forward with a recommendation of a multi-pronged approach that we can take to try to solve this, and it may be baby steps, but we can certainly start moving forward, particularly with increasing the auditing process and the educating of producers. Maybe partner with Georgia Farm Bureau or some other outlets, and making sure that we get those out, particularly for the upcoming crop year. And then continue on the bonding requirements to have some further conversations with interested parties. I want to make sure that we do engage the cotton warehouses, as they'll probably be impacted from our neck of the woods, probably more than anyone else. But we want to make sure that we do engage them in that process. So what we're doing is just, instead of recommending one simple solution, is a multi-pronged approach that we can begin to move forward with on addressing the issue.
Um, I've got one other question. To increase the bonding requirements, will that take legislative action, or can the commissioner do that on his own?
I believe, if I'm incorrect here, I believe that's going to take legislation to do that.
For what I understand, it's codified. The last time it was updated was sometime, I think, in the 80s. So as far as I know, we're going to have legislation if that was an option that we wanted to pursue.
Could it be added through the commodity commissions at all? Is that possible? In a commodity commission language for each individual commodity, or is that not an option?
I think we would have to amend the overarching legislation that created those bonding requirements to do that. I don't know that we could do it through individual commodity commissions. And in order to make it more uniform across the board, we would probably want to have general law in order to do that. And any different recommendations from Ledge Council? So that would be my thought, but we will follow up just to make sure on that. Do we still have Joe? Yep, we still got Joe. Beth, welcome. We did earlier go ahead and adopt the committee report, but given we had some communication issues, we'll, if it's acceptable, we'll open that back up for any further conversations. Beth, if you have any questions, what we did is, in the committee report, walk through 4 recommendations that the committee had talked about. One being was creating an indemnity fund, which we do believe exists in current code, and as well as adding some additional funding to the Department of Agriculture to bolster the auditing process, and then increasing the bonding requirements as we can, and making sure that we're doing that in a positive way. And then work with partners to educate our farmers and producers on bonding requirements, so that they know, as they're marketing their product, that they indeed know that, or ask the questions to make sure that those are bonded and insured, licensed within the state of Georgia as they move forward with marketing their commodities. So that's where we were. Any further conversation?
I agree with all of those. So I agree with the findings of the report. So I would support all that legislation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your for those comments, and we'll note that if appropriate, Anna, that she was an affirmative vote. Any other comments? All right. Well, I certainly appreciate your time and effort in attending the meetings, particularly one down in Tifton. It was a long 2 days, but I think we learned a lot from it, and moving forward and trying to address the important issue that's before us. And look forward to continuing to work with each of you in the upcoming legislative session to put some of this into law to help our producers and provide some further protections for them, given the environment that we are currently in. Any other comments? Anna, have I covered everything?
I think you've got it covered.
All right, good deal. Well, gentlemen, ladies, thank you. Look forward to seeing y'all in a couple of weeks. And if there are no other comments, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the study committee on the exchange, storage, and coverage of agricultural products, grains, and livestock.
Motion.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, great. Thank you. We are adjourned and look forward to seeing y'all in a couple of weeks.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New
Thank
Year,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Go
Chairman.
Dogs.
Happy New Year.
Go dogs.